Mic check. So this is part two of Genesis chapter 20, a study that we've been going over, and specifically, we had just circled in on talking about the reason why Sarah was valuable to Abimelech. Okay, if you haven't done so, go look at part number one of the sermon entitled "Oops, I've Sinned Again." And what is done, or what we're doing, is we're talking about Abraham when he committed the same sin again. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this because I've been having some type of difficulty here with the technology I'm using. So I want to do this while it is still available and while things seem to be online. So if you can hear me pretty good, give me a thumbs up. And if everything's okay, just type, I hear you. Great to have you here from South Africa. Thanks for being in here. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Linda, for being here. Does everything look okay? All right, here we go. Let's pick right up with Sarah. Okay. Genesis chapter 20, verse number 4. Let me read it again, and I'm going to share with you from this point forward why Sarah was valuable to Abimelech. And then I'm going to continue on where I left off at, talking about why Abraham chose to sin again and how it has to do, or what it has to do with you and I. All right, I'm going to move expeditiously. So again, listen to the first part of this. I'll leave it up so you can connect both of these sermons together. Here we go. Genesis chapter 20, verse number 4. But Abimelech had not come near her and said, Lord, wilt thou slay also the righteous nation? Okay. Uh, Later on, God explains to him what happens and why he shouldn't take Sarah. But why was Sarah interested in, or excuse me, why was Abimelech interested in Sarah? We've established in the previous live stream that Sarah was a beautiful woman way up into her 90s. And one of the points I try to make to some of the more mature women is you don't have to try and look like a previous generation in order to establish your beauty. Your beauty is going to come from the inside and work its way outside of your body, no matter what age that you are. So if you want to be beautiful, start working on your inside person and it will come out of your body. And so Sarah was a physically beautiful woman, but another reason why Sarah was attractive to Abimelech was because of her social and financial status. Her social and financial status. What do I mean? Remember, Abraham was rich now. He had grown in riches and stature between Genesis chapter 12, when he first did this, and Genesis chapter 20, which is now. Abraham has gotten a lot more than what he once had. Abraham is financially secure. Abraham is socially acceptable. He's got more people now he's managing. He's paying for more. And not only that, he has military victories. So, in other words, Abraham is someone now who is the man. He is him. Okay. So, Abimelech chooses Sarah, I believe, because he wants to associate himself with the riches, the fame, and the social status that Abraham has. This is often the custom that occurred during these times and with these marriages. Families would marry into each other, not only to maintain peace, but they would take wives from different households in order to get the stability and financial backing and social backing that comes from marrying up or marrying into a family that's more prestigious than yours. That's what Abimelech was looking to do. Okay. So this is why Sarah was attractive. Not only her physical beauty, but because of the things that she represented, the resources. Okay. Now let's keep going forward here. And I'm going to have to move expeditiously because of what's happening to my device, but I want you to see this part. Let's fast forward here to uh, verse number 9. Okay. This is Abraham's response. Okay. And it's worth noting before we get to verse number 9 on that Abimelech took her to be his wife, but he never consummated the marriage. And that was huge because this thing that's happening in Sarah's body, it was not for him, Abimelech, but it was for Abraham. But watch this, verse number 9. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said, "Why hast thou done this? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought me and my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that thou ought not be done." But Abimelech said unto Abraham, "What sawest thou?" Or excuse me, not but. And Abimelech said to Abraham, "What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing?" Okay. So Abimelech calls in Abraham and he says, "Why did you do this? Why did you cause me to sin? Or why would you do this?" And look what Abraham says. Listen closely. Okay. If you got a pencil or highlighter, I'm going to tell you to highlight or circle or pencil this right here because this will blow your mind. Watch this. Verse 11. And Abraham said, "Because I thought surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass when God caused me to wander from my father's house, I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou show unto me. At every place whether we shall come, say of me, He is my brother." I want to make sure you all can hear me clearly when I show this part to you. So if you can hear me without interruption, give me a thumbs up or type, "I can hear you." Mm, mhm. There we go. Okay, got it. Watch this. With your pencil or your highlighter, I want you to highlight or circle verse 13. And it came to pass when God caused me to wander from my father's house. Circle or highlight wander from my father's house. This is going to blow your mind because we do this. And some of you may have thought we're the only ones who do this. Watch this. Abimelech confronts Abraham, and Abraham responds by saying, "God caused me to wander from my father's house. And when I went to wander from my father's house, already previously, I told Sarah that if anything goes down, tell people you are my sister and not my wife." In other words, Abraham already had a pre plan in case something went wrong between this promise of God and his final destination. Abraham had an escape clause. Abraham had a backup plan. Abraham is more like you and I on a regular day to day basis. Watch this. First, the term wander. In Genesis chapter 20, verse 13, he said, God caused me to wander. Okay. Whenever you look at the word wander, I want you to look it up. I normally use Blue Letter Study Bible. You can use that or whatever you look up. Look up the word wander and see what type of meaning it has attached to it. Is it purposeful or is it negative? Mhm. And what you're going to find is that the word attached to wander oftentimes can be interpreted as being negative. So when Abraham makes this statement to Abimelech, he is showing you the inside of his heart and what is causing him to fear. He's saying, and I'm putting this in my own words now, he's saying, God caused me to go on this unpredictable journey. I'm wandering around. I don't know, and I'm not fully sure about what it is I'm doing and where I'm at. He's showing through this clear statement. When he calls me to wander, he's saying, I believe in God, but there's a little bit of me in here that doesn't really believe. So henceforth, I'm going to keep my escape clause. I'm going to keep my insurance package. I'm going to keep something close by or near me in case it really gets bad. And you and I sometimes do the same thing. We believe God. We've seen what he can do. We've experienced him bring us from one point to the next. But yet, when we go through the different stages of life, we keep our escape clauses. We keep our insurance packages. We keep something just in case it doesn't go the way that we need to. And that's why you keep reverting back to cussing people out. That's why you keep going back to that sin that Tyrone is offering. That's why you keep going back to Shanika Boom Boom. That's why you keep going back to the drug or the alcohol abuse. That's why you keep going back to the thing that you control, because there's a small amount of you that does not believe in God's promise truly. Here's the next thing I want you to type in the comment section. Type this: I'm learning to trust God completely. I'm learning to trust God completely. And I'm going to wrap up here with this, but I wanted to show you that because Abraham made up this story ahead of time before they even left Ur. And him and Sarah came to some type of agreement ahead of time that in case there was ever any type of thing that was going to ensnare me or cause me harm, Sarah, just tell people that you're my sister and not my wife. Because I don't truly believe in everything that God can do, even though he's showing me on a regular basis, even though he showed me that he can give me above what I can ever ask or think financially, even though he showed me that he would destroy wickedness 10 times over, even though he showed me that he makes a way out of no way when I took and won battles with Keldemer and not at my own might, I still have something that's holding me back. And so, again, God intervenes. He builds Abraham yet some more. And Abimelech gives him sheep, he gives him oxen, he gives him a place to live. So Abraham is blessed again, even though he sinned again. And watch this as I close. The truth of the matter is, favor is not fair, and blessings come from God, and he blesses who he wishes. There's no way Abraham, in my opinion, should have received more after he sinned. but God saw fit to give him more. And I think that one thing we can learn from Genesis chapter 20 is this: even though we sin again, God knows our heart, and he knows where we're headed, and he knows what he can give you. So don't discount yourself because you have sinned again. Continue on in integrity and earnestly after you have repented and move on in the right direction. Fortunately, I don't hear of Abraham sinning in this way ever again. And I believe it's because God brought him through this second event, yet again, to help build Abraham's faith. If you understood what I was talking about, and if you stayed with me today, give me a thumbs up and type amen. Here's a quick version in case you missed it, in case you missed the last live stream that cut off. I went through Genesis chapter number 20. In this chapter, Abraham sins the same sin that he committed in Genesis chapter 12, risking his family and putting his lineage in jeopardy. God intervened. And after God intervened, Abraham unveils to us why he sinned. Abraham is like you and I sometimes. We believe in God, we say we trust him, but yet we still hold on to a small amount of insurance just in case it goes wrong. The encouragement today is to learn to completely trust God. And in doing so, he will lead you to your promised land. When we get to chapter 21, we'll see that God is faithful to his promise. And Sarah conceives a child. Thank you all so much again for being here with me today. Family, I'm going to work on getting a new device, so just pray for me. If you guys have any suggestions, send me an email for a good device, because I think I want to change it up so we can actually put the scripture on the live stream so you can see it while I'm talking. But thank you guys for being here, and I appreciate you all right? Have a great rest of the evening. Say bye to a couple people out there as well, all right? Macy, Lazarus, Crispy G, I'm Jonathan Alton. Great to see you all. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Bye-bye.